Welcome, dear viewers, to our special corner of tranquility here on our YouTube channel. Today, we have a captivating story in store for you, designed to whisk you away to a world of relaxation and lull you into a peaceful slumber. So, whether you're seeking a moment of calm or simply looking to unwind after a long day, we invite you to join us on this soothing journey. Take a moment to settle in and find a cozy spot where you can truly let go. Allow the worries of the day to fade away as we embark on this storytelling adventure together. Feel free to adjust your position, ensuring you are at ease and ready to embrace the tranquility that awaits. As we begin, close your eyes and let your imagination take flight. Picture yourself in a peaceful haven, far away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Imagine a place where stress melts away and your mind becomes a canvas for serenity. Breathe in deeply, filling your lungs with revitalizing air, and exhale slowly, releasing any tension that may linger within. With each breath, allow yourself to sink deeper into relaxation, feeling the weight of the world gently lift from your shoulders. Now, as you find yourself enveloped in this cocoon of tranquility, I invite you to open your mind and heart to the story that unfolds. Let the words wash over you like a gentle lullaby, soothing your thoughts and lulling you into a state of deep relaxation. As the tale unfolds, let your mind wander and lose itself in the enchanting narrative. Feel the stress and worries of the day melt away, replaced by a sense of peacefulness and contentment. Allow yourself to surrender to the soothing rhythms of the story as it carries you to a place of deep rest and tranquility. As we near the end of our time together, let your eyelids grow heavy and your body sink further into relaxation. Embrace the gentle embrace of sleep, knowing that you are safe and at peace in this moment. Thank you for joining us on this journey of relaxation and serenity. We hope that you found solace in this storytelling experience and that it leaves you feeling rejuvenated and ready for a restful night's sleep. Until we meet again, may your dreams be filled with tranquility and beauty. Good night, dear viewers. Chapter 1: The Gathering Storm. In the small town of Maplewood, anticipation filled the air as Thanksgiving approached. The townspeople busied themselves with preparations, eager to celebrate the season of gratitude. But amidst the bustling streets and cheerful chatter, there was a family facing a storm of their own. The Thompson family had always been known for their close-knit bond and warm hospitality. But as the leaves started to change color and the air grew colder, a sense of unease settled within their home. Sarah Thompson, a loving mother and devoted wife, noticed the subtle changes in her husband, Michael, and their two children, Emily and Jacob. It started with small disagreements, a tension that lingered in the air like an approaching storm. Sarah couldn't pinpoint the exact cause, but she could sense that something was amiss. Their once harmonious home now felt like a battlefield, with each family member retreating into their own emotional fortress. As Thanksgiving neared, Sarah decided it was time to address the mounting tension. She gathered her family in the living room, the aroma of freshly baked apple pie wafting through the air. The warm glow of the fireplace flickered, casting dancing shadows on their faces. Something has been weighing heavy on my heart, Sarah began, her voice filled with a mix of concern and determination. I can feel the distance growing between us. We used to be so close, but lately, it feels like we're drifting apart. Michael, a hard-working man with deep lines etched on his face, sighed heavily. I know, Sarah. I've been feeling it too, he admitted, his voice tinged with a hint of regret. Work has been demanding, and it's been taking a toll on me. I haven't been fully present for our family. Emily, their teenage daughter, looked down at her hands, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. I've been struggling too, she confessed softly. School has been overwhelming, and I've been keeping everything bottled up inside. Jacob, their younger son, fidgeted in his seat, his eyes darting around the room. I don't know how to express how I feel, he mumbled, his voice barely audible. I just want everything to go back to the way it was. Sarah reached out and took each of their hands, a gesture of unity and reassurance. We can't turn back time, but we can take steps to heal and reconnect, she said, her voice filled with determination. Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and it's a time for gratitude and forgiveness. Let's use this opportunity to come together and rebuild our family bonds. The family sat in silence, contemplating Sarah's words. They understood that the path to healing would not be easy, but they were willing to put in the effort. Thanksgiving became more than just a holiday. It became a symbol of hope and renewal. Over the next few days, the Thompson family embarked on a journey of healing. They sat down for heartfelt conversations, sharing their fears, hopes, and dreams. They set aside time for family activities, enjoying walks in the crisp autumn air and cooking meals together. They made a conscious effort to listen to one another, to truly understand and support one another. As Thanksgiving Day arrived, the Thompson family gathered around the table, their hands clasped in unity. A sense of gratitude filled their hearts, not just for the food before them, but for the opportunity to rebuild their family bonds. They each took turns expressing their appreciation for one another, acknowledging the efforts made and the progress achieved. Tears were shed, apologies were offered, and forgiveness was granted. The storm that had threatened to tear their family apart was gradually replaced by a renewed sense of love and understanding. They realized that the strength of their family lay not in their absence of struggles, but in their willingness to face them together. As they savored each bite of Thanksgiving dinner, laughter filled the room, and the warmth of their love enveloped them. The gathering storm had transformed into a gentle rain, nourishing their souls and bringing forth new growth. And so, the Thompson family emerged from their trials stronger and more connected than ever before. They understood that life would always bring challenges, but with love, forgiveness, and gratitude as their guiding lights, they were confident in their ability to weather any storm that came their way. As the evening drew to a close, Sarah looked around the table, her heart brimming with gratitude. She knew that their journey was far from over, but she was filled with hope. The Thanksgiving dinner had not only nourished their bodies, but it also rekindled the flame of love within their hearts. With renewed purpose, the Thompson family held hands once more, their bond unbreakable. They knew that the road ahead might not always be smooth, but they were determined to face it together, embracing the challenges and triumphs that lay ahead. Chapter 2: Rebuilding Bridges. In the aftermath of Thanksgiving, the Thompson family found themselves on a path of healing and rebuilding. They understood that repairing the fractures within their family would take time, patience, and a commitment to open communication. Sarah and Michael made it a priority to create a safe space for their children to express their feelings. They implemented regular family meetings where everyone had the opportunity to share their thoughts and concerns. These meetings became a platform for open dialogue, fostering understanding and empathy among all family members. Emily found solace in journaling. Every evening, she would retreat to her room and pour her thoughts onto the pages of her diary. The act of writing allowed her to process her emotions and gain clarity. She also discovered the healing power of creativity through painting and started to express her feelings through vibrant artwork. Jacob, on the other hand, struggled with verbalizing his emotions. Sensing his difficulty, Sarah introduced him to various artistic outlets. She encouraged him to try his hand at sculpting, woodworking, and even playing a musical instrument. Jacob found solace in the freedom of expression that these creative pursuits offered him. As the weeks went by, the Thompson family began to notice the positive effects of their efforts. The tension that once hung heavy in the air started to dissipate, making way for a renewed sense of connection and understanding. They started to appreciate the small moments of joy and laughter that filled their days. In an attempt to strengthen their bond even further, the Thompsons decided to embark on a family adventure. They chose to explore the nearby wilderness, a place known for its breathtaking beauty and serene tranquility. They packed their bags, leaving behind the distractions of everyday life, and set off on a journey of exploration and self-discovery. The crisp morning air filled their lungs as they hiked through towering forests and along glistening streams. They marveled at the vibrant colors of the changing leaves and the symphony of nature's sounds that surrounded them. With every step, they felt more connected to one another and the world around them. During their time in the wilderness, the Thompsons faced various challenges together. They navigated treacherous paths, weathered unexpected storms, and learned to rely on one another for support. Through these experiences, they discovered the strength and resilience that lay within each member of their family. As they sat around the campfire each night, sharing stories and gazing up at the star-filled sky, they realized that their family was stronger than ever before. The wilderness had become their sanctuary, a place where they could shed their worries and embrace the beauty of the present moment. Upon returning home, the Thompson family carried the lessons they had learned into their daily lives. They made a conscious effort to prioritize quality time together, whether it was through family game nights, movie marathons, or simply enjoying a meal together without distractions. They also recognized the importance of self-care and individual growth. Each family member pursued their own passions and interests, supporting one another's endeavors. Emily continued to create art, even joining a local art club where she found like-minded individuals who shared her love for creativity. Jacob discovered a talent for playing the guitar and started taking lessons, finding solace in the music that flowed through his fingertips. As the months went by, the Thompson family continued to thrive. They faced new challenges along the way, but with their newfound unity, they tackled them head-on. They celebrated each other's milestones, offering unwavering support and encouragement. Their journey of healing and rebuilding had transformed not only their family, but also their place within the community. They became a source of inspiration for others who were navigating their own storms, showing them that with love, patience, and resilience, any relationship could be mended. The Thompsons understood that their journey was ongoing. Healing was not a destination, but a continuous process. They were committed to nurturing their family bonds, knowing that they would face hardships and setbacks along the way. But armed with the lessons they had learned, they were ready to face whatever storms may come, knowing that their love for one another would always be their guiding light. Chapter 3: A Community's Love. The news of the Peterson family's financial hardship spread like wildfire through the close-knit town of Maplewood. In this town, where neighbors were more like extended family, the community felt a deep sense of responsibility to support one another in times of need. And so, when word got out about the Petersons' predicament, the town rallied together with unwavering determination to ensure that they could still have a memorable Thanksgiving. Neighbors and friends, who had shared countless meals and laughs with the Petersons in the past, came forward with offers of help and donations. The outpouring of support was overwhelming, a testament to the genuine care and love that existed within the community. Mrs. Johnson, an elderly widow who lived next door to the Petersons, was one of the first to step up. She had always been fond of the family and considered them an extension of her own. With a warm smile, she approached Mrs. Peterson and said, "My dear, I know times are tough right now, but I can't bear the thought of you canceling Thanksgiving. Let me contribute my famous sweet potato casserole and some fresh baked rolls. It's the least I can do." Touched by Mrs. Johnson's generosity, tears welled up in Mrs. Peterson's eyes. She embraced her neighbor tightly and whispered, "Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. Your kindness means the world to us." As the news spread further, more and more members of the community reached out to the Petersons, offering their support in various ways. Mr. Anderson, the local grocery store owner, insisted on providing a turkey and all the necessary ingredients for a traditional Thanksgiving meal. He had known the Peterson family for years and considered them an integral part of the community. "Consider it a gift from the entire town," he said with a smile. The Peterson children, Emily and Michael, were also not forgotten. Their friends from school, aware of their family's situation, organized a toy and clothing drive. They collected gently used items and new toys, ensuring that Emily and Michael would have a memorable Thanksgiving despite the financial strain. But it wasn't just material possessions that were offered. The community also stepped up to provide emotional support and job leads for Mr. Peterson. Mr. Thompson, the owner of a local construction company, reached out and offered Mr. Peterson a temporary job until he could find a more permanent solution. "We take care of our own," he said, shaking Mr. Peterson's hand firmly. The Petersons were humbled and grateful for the outpouring of love and support. They could feel the strength of their community wrapping around them like a warm embrace. It wasn't just about the food or the gifts. It was about the genuine care and concern that their neighbors had for their well-being. The week leading up to Thanksgiving was a whirlwind of activity. the Petersons' home became a hub of bustling energy. As friends, neighbors, and even strangers came together to prepare for the grand feast. The aroma of simmering soups, roasting turkeys, and freshly baked pies filled the air, creating an atmosphere of anticipation and joy. On the day before Thanksgiving, a volunteer crew of community members transformed the Petersons' backyard into a cozy gathering space. Tables, adorned with colorful tablecloths and centerpieces handmade by the children, were set up under a canopy of twinkling lights. The scene was picture perfect, a testament to the love and dedication of the community. As Thanksgiving morning dawned, the Petersons could hardly contain their excitement. Their home was filled with the laughter and chatter of friends and neighbors who had gathered to lend their support and celebrate the spirit of togetherness. The feast was a true reflection of the community's love, with dishes contributed by various families, each bearing a handwritten note of encouragement and well wishes. The Petersons, surrounded by the warmth and love of their community, felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. They realized that Thanksgiving wasn't just about the food on the table. It was about the connections they had forged with those around them. The bonds of friendship and support that had been strengthened during their time of need were priceless. As they sat down to share the meal, Mr. Peterson stood up, his voice filled with emotion. Today, we gather not only to give thanks for the abundance in our lives, but also to express our deepest gratitude for the love and support of this incredible community. You have shown us the true meaning of Thanksgiving, and we are forever grateful. The room erupted in applause and heartfelt cheers, a testament to the power of a community united by love and compassion. The Petersons' Thanksgiving celebration, made possible by the generosity and unwavering support of their neighbors, became a symbol of the strength and resilience that existed within the town of Maplewood. Chapter 3: A Community's Love. The news of the Peterson family's financial hardship spread like wildfire through the close-knit town of Maplewood. In this town, where neighbors were more like extended family, the community felt a deep sense of responsibility to support one another in times of need. And so, when word got out about the Petersons' predicament, the town rallied together with unwavering determination to ensure that they could still have a memorable Thanksgiving. Neighbors and friends, who had shared countless meals and laughs with the Petersons in the past, came forward with offers of help and donations. The outpouring of support was overwhelming, a testament to the genuine care and love that existed within the community. Mrs. Johnson, an elderly widow who lived next door to the Petersons, was one of the first to step up. She had always been fond of the family and considered them an extension of her own. With a warm smile, she approached Mrs. Peterson and said, "My dear, I know times are tough right now, but I can't bear the thought of you canceling Thanksgiving. Let me contribute my famous sweet potato casserole and some fresh baked rolls. It's the least I can do." Touched by Mrs. Johnson's generosity, tears welled up in Mrs. Peterson's eyes. She embraced her neighbor tightly and whispered, "Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. Your kindness means the world to us." As the news spread further, more and more members of the community reached out to the Petersons, offering their support in various ways. Mr. Anderson, the local grocery store owner, insisted on providing a turkey and all the necessary ingredients for a traditional Thanksgiving meal. He had known the Peterson family for years and considered them an integral part of the community. "Consider it a gift from the entire town," he said with a smile. The Peterson children, Emily and Michael, were also not forgotten. Their friends from school, aware of their family's situation, organized a toy and clothing drive. They collected gently used items and new toys, ensuring that Emily and Michael would have a memorable Thanksgiving despite the financial strain. But it wasn't just material possessions that were offered. The community also stepped up to provide emotional support and job leads for Mr. Peterson. Mr. Thompson, the owner of a local construction company, reached out and offered Mr. Peterson a temporary job until he could find a more permanent solution. "We take care of our own," he said, shaking Mr. Peterson's hand firmly. The Petersons were humbled and grateful for the outpouring of love and support. They could feel the strength of their community wrapping around them like a warm embrace. It wasn't just about the food or the gifts. It was about the genuine care and concern that their neighbors had for their well-being. The week leading up to Thanksgiving was a whirlwind of activity. The Petersons' home became a hub of bustling energy as friends, neighbors, and even strangers came together to prepare for the grand feast. The aroma of simmering soups, roasting turkeys, and freshly baked pies filled the air, creating an atmosphere of anticipation and joy. On the day before Thanksgiving, a volunteer crew of community members transformed the Petersons' backyard into a cozy gathering space. Tables, adorned with colorful tablecloths and centerpieces handmade by the children, were set up under a canopy of twinkling lights. The scene was picture perfect, a testament to the love and dedication of the community. As Thanksgiving morning dawned, the Petersons could hardly contain their excitement. Their home was filled with the laughter and chatter of friends and neighbors who had gathered to lend their support and celebrate the spirit of togetherness. The feast was a true reflection of the community's love, with dishes contributed by various families, each bearing a handwritten note of encouragement and well wishes. The Petersons, surrounded by the warmth and love of their community, felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. They realized that Thanksgiving wasn't just about the food on the table. It was about the connections they had forged with those around them. The bonds of friendship and support that had been strengthened during their time of need were priceless. As they sat down to share the meal, Mr. Peterson stood up, his voice filled with emotion. "Today, we gather not only to give thanks for the abundance in our lives, but also to express our deepest gratitude for the love and support of this incredible community. You have shown us the true meaning of Thanksgiving, and we are forever grateful." The room erupted in applause and heartfelt cheers, a testament to the power of a community united by love and compassion. The Petersons' Thanksgiving celebration, made possible by the generosity and unwavering support of their neighbors, became a symbol of the strength and resilience that existed within the town of Maplewood. Chapter 4: A Heartwarming Surprise. On the day before Thanksgiving, the Petersons received an unexpected knock on their door. When they opened it, they were greeted by a group of townspeople carrying baskets full of ingredients, homemade dishes, and heartfelt notes of encouragement. The community had come together to provide everything needed for a Thanksgiving feast. "Surprise!" exclaimed Mrs. Anderson, their neighbor from across the street. "We heard about your tough times, and we wanted to make sure you had a wonderful Thanksgiving." Mrs. Peterson's eyes widened with shock and gratitude. "Oh my goodness, this is incredible. Thank you all so much." The townspeople smiled warmly, handing over the baskets one by one. Mr. Johnson, the local baker, presented a beautifully decorated pumpkin pie. "I made this from scratch, just for you. I hope it brings some sweetness to your holiday." Mrs. Peterson took the pie, her hands trembling with emotion. "Thank you, Mr. Johnson. It looks absolutely delicious." As the baskets continued to be passed around, Mrs. Thompson, the Petersons' next-door neighbor, spoke up. "We've all been through tough times, and we know how important it is to support one another. We may be a small town, but we have big hearts." Mr. Peterson, his voice choked with gratitude, addressed the group. "Words cannot express how grateful we are for your kindness. We never expected this, and it means the world to us. Thank you, each and every one of you." The townspeople nodded, their faces beaming with joy. They knew that their small act of kindness would make a big difference in the Petersons' lives. As the evening went on, the Petersons invited their unexpected guests inside. The living room transformed into a bustling hub of activity, filled with laughter and camaraderie. The aroma of delicious food filled the air, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. Mrs. Anderson, ever the organizer, took charge of the festivities. "Let's set up the dining table and make this a Thanksgiving to remember." The townspeople eagerly pitched in, helping to arrange the food and set the table. One by one, they shared stories of their own Thanksgiving memories, creating a sense of belonging and togetherness. As the Petersons sat down to enjoy the feast, surrounded by their newfound family, Mrs. Peterson couldn't help but reflect on the incredible generosity they had experienced. It wasn't just about the food. It was about the unconditional love and support that came with it. As they savored each bite, the Petersons felt a renewed sense of hope and gratitude. They were reminded that even in the darkest of times, there were people who cared and were willing to lend a helping hand. The heartwarming surprise provided by their community became a turning point for the Peterson family. It showed them that they were not alone in their struggles, and that they had a support system they could rely on. From that day forward, the Petersons became more involved in their community, volunteering their time and resources to help others in need. They learned the true meaning of Thanksgiving, not just a holiday centered around food, but a celebration of gratitude, compassion, and the power of community. And so, as the Petersons sat around the table, sharing laughter and stories with their newfound family, they knew that this Thanksgiving would forever hold a special place in their hearts. It was a reminder of the incredible capacity for kindness and the power of coming together as a community. Little did they know that this heartwarming surprise was just the beginning of a journey that would change their lives in ways they never could have imagined. Through the support of their community, the Petersons would find the strength to overcome their challenges and discover a deeper sense of belonging and purpose. As the night came to an end, the Petersons thanked each and every person who had contributed to their Thanksgiving feast. They hugged their neighbors tightly, feeling a profound connection that went beyond words. With tears of gratitude in their eyes, the Petersons closed the door, knowing that they were surrounded by love and support. They were ready to face the challenges ahead, knowing that their community had their backs. And so, the heartwarming surprise on that Thanksgiving Eve became a cherished memory that would forever remind the Petersons of the power of kindness, compassion, and the strength of a united community. In the days and weeks that followed, the Petersons continued to be amazed by the outpouring of support from their community. People reached out, offering assistance in various ways. Some volunteered to help Mr. Peterson with odd jobs around the house. Others donated clothing and household items to help alleviate their financial strain. Chapter 5: Preparations and Reflections. The Petersons spent the entire day preparing for their Thanksgiving feast, surrounded by the warmth and love of their community. Mrs. Peterson, tears of gratitude streaming down her face, shared stories of past Thanksgivings and expressed her deep appreciation for the support they had received. As they gathered around the kitchen table, the Petersons and their neighbors laughed and chatted, their voices filling the room with a sense of camaraderie. Mrs. Thompson, the Petersons' next-door neighbor, rolled up her sleeves and began peeling potatoes. "You know," Mrs. Thompson said with a smile, "Thanksgiving has always been my favorite holiday. It's a time to come together, to count our blessings, and to show gratitude. And this year, it feels even more special, knowing that we can make a difference in the lives of our friends." Mr. Peterson nodded, his eyes filled with pride. "Absolutely, Mrs. Thompson. We are truly blessed to have such incredible support from our community. It's a reminder that we are never alone, no matter what challenges we face." As the day went on, the Petersons and their neighbors worked together, chopping vegetables, basting turkeys, and setting the table. The aroma of homemade dishes filled the air, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. Mrs. Anderson, their neighbor from across the street, took a break from her tasks and sat down next to Mrs. Peterson. She reached out and held her hand, a gesture of comfort and support. "Mrs. Peterson, I want you to know that you and your family are not alone in this. We are here for you every step of the way." Mrs. Peterson smiled tearfully. "Thank you, Mrs. Anderson. Your kindness means the world to us. We never expected such overwhelming support, and it has touched our hearts in ways we cannot express." As the preparations continued, the Petersons' youngest daughter, Emily, approached the table with a tray of freshly baked rolls. Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she placed them carefully on the table. "Mom, Dad, look what I made," Emily exclaimed, her voice filled with pride. "I wanted to help too, so I decided to bake some rolls all by myself. I hope everyone likes them." Mrs. Peterson's heart swelled with love as she looked at her daughter. "Oh, Emily, they look absolutely delicious. I'm sure everyone will love them. Thank you for helping out. You're a wonderful little chef." Emily beamed with joy, her eyes shining. "Thank you, Mom. I wanted to do something special for our Thanksgiving feast. I'm so glad I could contribute." As the day progressed, the Petersons and their neighbors shared stories, laughter, and cherished memories. They reflected on the challenges they had faced together and the strength they had found in their community. Mrs. Johnson, the wife of the local baker, joined the conversation. "You know, when I heard about your situation, I couldn't help but think about the true meaning of Thanksgiving. It's not just about the food or the festivities. It's about coming together and supporting one another, even in the toughest of times. Mr. Johnson nodded in agreement. Absolutely, dear. Thanksgiving is a time to reflect on our blessings and to show gratitude for the love and support we have in our lives. And it's a reminder that we can make a difference, no matter how small our actions may seem. As the sun began to set, casting a warm, golden glow over the neighborhood, the Petersons and their neighbors gathered around the table. The room was filled with the mouth-watering aroma of roasted turkey, mashed potatoes, and freshly baked pies. Mrs. Peterson looked around at the familiar faces, her heart overflowing with gratitude. Before we dig into this incredible feast, I want to take a moment to express my deepest appreciation to each and every one of you. Your kindness, generosity, and unwavering support have touched our lives in ways we cannot put into words. Today, we are not just celebrating Thanksgiving. We are celebrating the power of community, love, and compassion. Tears glistened in the eyes of the Petersons' neighbors as they listened to Mrs. Peterson's heartfelt words. Mrs. Thompson reached out and squeezed Mrs. Peterson's hand, her voice filled with emotion. We are the ones who should be grateful, Mrs. Peterson. Your strength and resilience have inspired us all. Today, we stand together as a family, bound by love and compassion. Mr. Peterson raised his glass, a smile spreading across his face. To our incredible community, thank you for reminding us that we are never alone. Let us cherish this moment and the bond we have forged. The room filled with the clinking of glasses and heartfelt toasts as the Petersons and their neighbors raised their glasses in unified celebration. In that moment, they knew that they were part of something greater than themselves. Chapter 6: A Feast of Gratitude. The big day had finally arrived. The Petersons' home was filled with the delectable aromas of Thanksgiving dishes, and the table groaned under the weight of an abundant feast. The community members had gathered together, bringing their own contributions to the meal, as they prepared to celebrate a day of gratitude and togetherness. As the guests settled into their seats, Mrs. Peterson stood up, a glimmer of excitement in her eyes. Welcome, everyone, to our Thanksgiving feast. Today is not just about the food, but about the love and support we have for each other. Let's take a moment to reflect on the blessings in our lives and express our gratitude. The room fell into a peaceful silence as everyone bowed their heads. Mrs. Thompson, sitting next to Mrs. Peterson, reached out and squeezed her hand, a gesture of solidarity and shared emotions. After a few moments, Mr. Peterson spoke up, his voice filled with gratitude. I am thankful for the strength and resilience of our community. Your support has been unwavering, and it has carried us through our darkest times. Thank you for being here today and for reminding us of the power of love and compassion. Mrs. Anderson, with tears in her eyes, added, I am grateful for the kindness and generosity that I have witnessed among us. The way we have come together as neighbors and friends, supporting one another, has truly touched my heart. The guests nodded in agreement, their faces reflecting a sense of shared appreciation. The room was filled with warmth and a deep understanding of the importance of community. As the meal began, the air filled with the sound of clinking silverware and cheerful conversation. The room was alive with laughter and stories, as everyone savored the delicious food and cherished the company of their loved ones. Mrs. Johnson, having taken a bite of the homemade cranberry sauce, exclaimed with delight, "Mrs. Peterson, this sauce is simply divine. Could you share the recipe with me? I would love to make it for my family next year." Mrs. Peterson smiled warmly, pride shining in her eyes. "Of course, Mrs. Johnson. I'd be happy to share it with you. I'm glad you enjoy it. It's a family recipe that has been passed down for generations." Mrs. Thompson chimed in, and speaking of family recipes, I have to say, Mr. Thompson's sweet potato casserole is always a crowd favorite. It's a tradition in our household. Mr. Thompson, blushing, replied, "Well, it's all about the secret ingredient, love. Can't go wrong with that." The conversation flowed effortlessly, with each person sharing their favorite memories of Thanksgiving and expressing their gratitude for the blessings in their lives. The room was filled with a sense of belonging and unity, as if they were all part of one big family. Emily, the Petersons' youngest daughter, couldn't help but join in the festivities. She stood up, a shy smile on her face, and said, "I am thankful for my family and our wonderful neighbors. You have shown me what it means to care for others and to be there for each other. I am grateful to have all of you in my life." The room erupted in applause, touched by Emily's heartfelt words. Mrs. Thompson, wiping away a tear, said, "Emily, you are wise beyond your years. We are grateful to have you as part of our community, and you remind us of the importance of love and compassion." As the meal drew to a close, Mr. Peterson stood up, raising his glass. "To our incredible community, thank you for being here today and for your unwavering support. Let us continue to cherish and nurture the bonds we have formed, for it is through unity that we can overcome any challenge." The guests raised their glasses, their eyes filled with gratitude and determination. "To unity and gratitude," they exclaimed in unison, clinking their glasses together. The rest of the evening was filled with music, laughter, and heartfelt conversations. The Petersons' home was alive with the spirit of Thanksgiving, a celebration of love, gratitude, and the power of community. As the night drew to a close, the guests bid their farewells, their hearts full of warmth and contentment. They knew that this Thanksgiving would forever hold a special place in their memories, a testament to the strength and resilience of their community. As the Petersons closed the door behind their final guest, they looked at each other with tears of joy in their eyes. They knew that they had been blessed with an incredible community, one that had turned their darkest days into moments of hope and healing. And as they cleaned up the remnants of the feast, they couldn't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude. They were grateful for the love that surrounded them, grateful for the strength they had found in their community, and grateful for the opportunity to give back and make a difference. In the days that followed, the spirit of gratitude lingered in the hearts of the community members. They continued to support one another, reaching out a helping hand whenever it was needed. The Petersons, inspired by the Thanksgiving feast, decided to organize regular community gatherings to foster a sense of togetherness and gratitude throughout the year. They started a tradition of monthly potluck dinners, where each family would bring a dish to share and take turns hosting the event. These gatherings became a cherished time for the community to come together, sharing stories, laughter, and of course, delicious food. During one of these potluck dinners, Mrs. Thompson shared a heartwarming story. She explained how the sense of unity and gratitude that they had cultivated as a community had inspired her to start a charity initiative. She had partnered with local businesses and organizations to provide meals and support to those in need during the holiday season. The community members were moved by Mrs. Thompson's initiative and immediately offered their assistance. They volunteered their time, resources, and skills to ensure that the charity effort was a success. Together, they organized food drives, fundraisers, and even coordinated with local shelters and community centers to distribute the meals. As the months went by, the community's commitment to gratitude and unity continued to strengthen. They organized neighborhood cleanup days, where they would come together to beautify their streets and parks. They formed book clubs, sports teams, and hobby groups, fostering a sense of camaraderie and shared interests. The Petersons, with the support of their neighbors, decided to expand their efforts beyond their community. They reached out to neighboring towns, inviting them to join in their monthly potluck gatherings and community initiatives. The response was overwhelming, and soon, the Petersons' community became a beacon of gratitude and unity in the entire region. The Feast of Gratitude, as it came to be known, became an annual event that attracted people from all around. It was a day of celebration where individuals and families would gather to express their gratitude for the blessings in their lives. The event featured music, performances, and of course, a grand feast that showcased the diverse culinary traditions of the community. Through their journey of gratitude and unity, the Petersons and their community had not only transformed their own lives, but had also inspired others to embrace the power of gratitude and togetherness. They had proven that by coming together, supporting one another, and expressing gratitude, they could create a stronger, more compassionate world. As the years passed, the Feast of Gratitude grew in size and significance. It became a symbol of hope, reminding people of the importance of love, compassion, and community. The Peterson story spread far and wide, inspiring countless others to create their own feasts of gratitude and to foster a spirit of unity in their own communities. And so, as the sun set on another Thanksgiving evening, the Petersons and their community gathered once again. They stood hand in hand, hearts overflowing with gratitude as they reflected on their journey of love and unity. They knew that their feast had become more than just a meal. It had become a testament to the incredible power of gratitude, community, and the human spirit. Chapter 7, A Lesson in Love. As the sun began its descent, the golden hues of twilight cast a warm glow over the grateful hearts of the community. The air, now tinged with a gentle chill, seemed to echo the sentiments of love and unity that had filled the air moments ago. With faces still adorned with grateful smiles, families and friends embraced one another, their hearts overflowing with a renewed sense of purpose. Mr. Peterson, the figure of wisdom and compassion, stood amidst the dispersing crowd, his presence a beacon of inspiration. The echoes of his words reverberated in their minds, stirring a deep longing to carry the lessons of love learned that day into their everyday lives. They understood that love was not just a fleeting emotion, but a deliberate choice, one that required effort and commitment. As they exchanged heartfelt hugs and shared laughter, acts of kindness were set into motion. The community, ignited by the power of love, felt compelled to reach out to those in need, to extend a helping hand, and to foster a spirit of compassion and understanding. In the days and weeks that followed, the ripple effect of Mr. Peterson's speech could be felt throughout the community. Small gestures of kindness became commonplace as neighbors checked in on one another, offering support and lending a listening ear. The community became a tapestry of love, woven together by the threads of compassion and empathy. Inspired by the stories shared by Mr. Peterson, individuals began to embrace vulnerability, opening their hearts to forgiveness and healing. Broken relationships were mended, old wounds were tended to, and a newfound sense of unity blossomed. The message of love and unity extended beyond the borders of the community, reaching neighboring towns and inspiring others to embrace the transformative power of love. The impact of Mr. Peterson's speech had transcended the boundaries of a single day, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of all who had been present. As the years passed, Thanksgiving became more than just a day of feasting and gratitude. It became a day to honor the love that bound them together, to reflect on the journey they had embarked upon as a community, and to celebrate the continuous growth and positive change that had been fostered. The legacy of that Thanksgiving celebration endured, woven into the fabric of the community's history. Each year, as autumn painted the world in vibrant shades of red and gold, the community would gather once more, eager to share stories of love, gratitude, and unity. And so, the spirit of love remained alive, guiding the community through the joys and challenges that life inevitably brought. As they looked back on that fateful Thanksgiving celebration, they would forever be reminded of the power of a single speech, the power to ignite a flame within the hearts of many and transform a community for generations to come. For love had become their compass, their guiding light, guiding them on their journey of life. And as they walked hand in hand, they knew that as long as love prevailed, their community would forever be a haven of compassion, unity, and unwavering support. Chapter 8, Unearthing Secrets. The crisp autumn air swept through the narrow streets of the small town, carrying with it a sense of anticipation and mystery. The community had been buzzing with rumors and whispers, for there was talk of a long-lost secret that lay buried beneath the surface, waiting to be unearthed. In the heart of the town, there stood an old, dilapidated house that had been abandoned for decades. Its weathered facade and broken windows were a stark contrast to the vibrant houses that surrounded it. This house held the key to the secret, the answers that had remained hidden for far too long. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the town, a group of curious individuals gathered outside the old house. They were a mix of young and old, all united by their shared desire to uncover the truth that had eluded them for so long. Leading the group was Mr. Peterson, his eyes gleaming with a mix of excitement and determination. He had spent countless hours researching the history of the house, piecing together fragmented stories and rumors from the town's past. Now, the time had come to delve deeper into the mystery. With a creaking sound, the heavy wooden door of the house swung open, revealing a dimly lit interior. The group cautiously stepped inside, their breath held in anticipation. The air was thick with dust, and the faint scent of decay lingered in the air. Their footsteps echoed through the empty rooms, each one a testament to the house's forgotten past. As they explored further, they discovered an old study filled with dusty books and yellowed documents. It was here that they hoped to find the answers they sought. With gloved hands, Mr. Peterson carefully sifted through the ancient manuscripts, his eyes scanning the faded ink for any clue that could shed light on the secret. The group gathered around him, their eyes fixed on the pages as he read aloud passages that revealed long-forgotten tales of betrayal, love, and redemption. As the night grew darker, the flickering candlelight cast eerie shadows on the walls, heightening the atmosphere of suspense. The group's excitement grew with each revelation, for they were now piecing together the puzzle that had haunted their town for generations. One by one, the secrets of the past began to unravel. They discovered a forbidden love affair that had torn families apart, a hidden treasure that had been the cause of many conflicts, and a long-held grudge that had festered for years. The stories painted a vivid picture of the town's history, a tapestry woven with both joy and sorrow. But amidst the revelations, they stumbled upon a startling truth. The secret they sought was not merely a buried treasure or a scandalous affair. It was something far deeper, something that touched the very core of their community. The truth lay in forgiveness. As Mr. Peterson shared the final piece of the puzzle, the room fell silent. The weight of the revelation hung in the air, each person grappling with the profound implications of what they had discovered. The secret was not a physical entity, but a lesson that had been passed down through the ages. In that moment, the group realized that the true treasure was not material wealth or hidden artifacts. It was the power of forgiveness, the ability to let go of past grievances and embrace a future of unity and understanding. With newfound clarity, they understood that the secret had remained buried for so long because the townspeople had been holding on to grudges, unwilling to forgive and move forward. The revelation served as a wake-up call, a gentle nudge to release the burden of resentment and allow healing to take place. As they emerged from the old house, the moon shone brightly overhead, casting its gentle glow upon the town. The group stood in silence, their hearts filled with a renewed sense of purpose. They knew that it was their responsibility to share the secret, to spread the message of forgiveness throughout the community. In the days that followed, the townspeople gathered in the town square, eager to hear the tale of the long-lost secret. Mr. Peterson stood before them, his voice steady and filled with conviction. He recounted the stories they had uncovered, emphasizing the importance of forgiveness in fostering a strong and united community. The crowd listened intently, their hearts open to the possibility of change. They realized that forgiveness was not a sign of weakness, but a symbol of strength, a choice to release the chains of the past and embrace a future filled with compassion and understanding. As Mr. Peterson concluded his speech, the applause echoed through the square, a resounding affirmation of their collective commitment to forgiveness. The community was forever changed, bound together by a shared understanding and a renewed sense of unity. In the years that followed, the town flourished. Acts of forgiveness became commonplace, and the wounds of the past slowly healed. The long-lost secret had become a catalyst for positive change, a reminder that forgiveness has the power to transform not only individuals, but entire communities. And so, the town continued to thrive, its foundations strengthened by the lessons learned from the long-lost secret. The stories of forgiveness and unity spread far and wide, inspiring neighboring communities to embark on their own journeys of healing and reconciliation. The old house, once a symbol of neglect and decay, was now a symbol of hope and transformation. It stood as a testament to the power of forgiveness, a beacon of light in a world often clouded by resentment and bitterness. As the years passed, the town became known not only for its picturesque scenery and charming streets, but also for its unwavering commitment to fostering a culture of forgiveness. Visitors from far and wide were drawn to the town, eager to witness the profound impact of forgiveness firsthand. The community, united by their shared experiences, continued to support one another through the highs and lows of life. They celebrated each other's successes, offered a helping hand in times of need, and nurtured an environment of empathy and understanding. The legacy of the long-lost secret lived on, woven into the fabric of the town's history. Each year, on a designated day of forgiveness, the community would gather in the town square to reflect on the journey they had undertaken. They would share stories of personal growth, of struggles overcome, and of the profound transformations that forgiveness had brought into their lives. As the sun set on another day in the town, casting a golden glow over its streets, the people walked hand in hand, their hearts filled with gratitude. They knew that forgiveness was not a one-time act, but a lifelong commitment, one that required continuous effort and compassion. And so, the town thrived, its spirit nurtured by the power of forgiveness. It became a sanctuary for those seeking solace, a place where wounds could heal and relationships could be restored. The long-lost secret had become a living testament to the enduring power of forgiveness and the profound impact it could have on the lives of individuals and communities. As the years turned into decades, the town's story spread far beyond its borders, inspiring others to embark on their own journeys of forgiveness and healing. The long-lost secret had become a catalyst for change, a reminder that forgiveness has the power to transform not only our own lives, but the world around us. And so, the legacy of the town's long-lost secret lived on, carried forward by each person who embraced the transformative power of forgiveness. The town, once overshadowed by the weight of its past, now stood as a shining example of what could be achieved when forgiveness was chosen over resentment, unity over division, and love over hate.